What is up, guys? Suda the Savage back today. Not quite a prediction video, but I am going to be doing a season preview on the Toronto Raptors. So, yes, I will be finally talking about the Raptors again. Of course, I got my Raptors DeRozan jersey. It's my only jersey. And you might be wondering, gray shirt underneath, it's my Ran the East. Got the championship hat on. But anyways, today I'm just going to be going over a season preview for the Raptors. This video will be in 3 parts. First part, I'll be talking kind of about the roster, 29, and then number 2 is going to be the games that I'm looking forward to, and then the final section is going to be kind of my predictions, but they're going to be incredibly short, because I am on a bit of a time crunch. It's just going to be who I predict will make the playoffs in each conference. But anyways, enough with this, so let's get this video started right now. So of course we do start out, where else would we start out? With the roster, of course, starting out with our head coach, Nick Nurse, coming off his first NBA championship, first season as head coach. You know, he did a good job bringing the Raptors to places we have never been, to new highs and new lows. Of course, the lowest losing Kawhi Leonard. But anyways, let's start off with the roster. So first I'm going to be starting off with my predictions on who gets the starting job at each position. Then I'm going to go over a couple of guys on the bench. So point guard, undoubtedly, is going to be Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry has been part of this franchise for a while. We completely turned his career around. We developed him, DeMar DeRozan. Kyle Lowry is going to stick around. I mean, we did sign him to a 1-year extension, but honestly, I don't know how much longer he's going to have, but he's a multiple-time All-Star, and he's going to be our starting point guard, hands down. So shooting guard is where it got a little bit more complicated, because we are without Danny Green. So, of course, the big decision is who's it going to be, Van Fleet or Norman Powell? In the end, I decided Norman Powell will be the starting shooting guard. Mainly because, well, in terms of height. Fred Van Fleet would definitely excel more if he was a point guard because he nowhere near has the height to be a shooting guard. Norman Powell would fit in the shooting guard position perfectly. Fred Van Fleet is perfect on the bench. You know, he'll come out, make his contributions, but I'll get to him later. And, of course, one of the harder ones was the small forward. No Kawhi Leonard. So who do we go with? Well, we go with OG Anunoby, who we may be building the franchise around along with him and Pascal Siakam. But OG Anunoby, without Kawhi Leonard, the spot is open to him. Now, he didn't get a lot of playing time last year, mainly because his gallbladder was removed right before the playoffs had started. And even though he did have his gallbladder removed, his numbers were down mainly because Kawhi Leonard was our small forward. Now, the surprising thing is we did so well, even without Kawhi Leonard playing for a decent portion of the season. We always would rest him a lot because we wanted him for the playoffs. So OG Anunoby is going to be the small forward. Power forward, Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. We are planning to build the franchise around him. We're about to sign him on October 21st. That's when we are expected to ink a massive deal with Pascal Siakam. Pretty easily, we could do that. Pascal Siakam, we drafted a couple years ago. He's blossomed, and if we develop him right, he could become the next Dirk Nowitzki. Maybe he'll lead us to another championship. But anyways, center, a little bit of a hard decision, but not really. It's going to be Marc Gasol. Last year, we acquired him from a trade with the Grizzlies when we traded away Jonas Valanciunas and a couple of picks for Marc Gasol. We upgraded at center. Marc Gasol did a perfect job bringing us back to the playoffs, bringing us to a championship. Now, JV, Jonas Valanciunas, he was a very good player, but Marc Gasol was definitely the better option. So we ended up trading him and got a better result from it. In Masai we trust. Anyways, for the bench, the two main playmakers on the bench are going to be Fred Van Fleet and Serge Ibaka, because these guys will barely lose out on the starting position. They'll have the players that are slightly better than them and the ones that will be starters, but when we got to sub them out, they will be coming in. And then the 3 other guys I wanted to mainly mention were Dwan Hernandez, Stanley Johnson, and Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. Now, Dwayne Hernandez was the 59th overall pick. He was our only draft pick because we didn't have our first rounder last year, as he was part of the Kawhi Leonard deal along with DeMar, as we got Kawhi Leonard and shipped out DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Patel, and our first round pick. So, of course, Juan Hernandez, we have done a very good job at developing players, whether they have just started in the NBA or if they have played for a couple of years. Then you got Stanley Johnson and Rondé Hollis Jefferson. They were our biggest free agent acquisitions. Now, of course, they are nowhere near going to be as good. They're not even going to come close to replacing Danny Green or Kawhi Leonard. But of course, there are other options. So that's all right. And then you got Patrick McCaw. He has never lost an NBA championship. He has been in 3 straight series with the 16-17 Warriors, 17-18 Warriors, and the 18-19 Raptors. So that makes me feel a little bit better, even though it's not going to help. But of course, we're still a very good team, but there is one major problem. We do not have the one superstar, which is Kawhi Leonard. With Kawhi Leonard gone, our chances of winning the NBA championship just plummeted a massive amount. Because in the NBA, if you're not one of like the top 5 or top 10 teams to win on paper, you're not winning the NBA Finals. You need a superstar. That one player, if he's a top 5, will make a massive difference. Look at what Kawhi Leonard did. Look at what LeBron James does. Look at, like, if you're a top 5 player, whatever team you're on, you have one of the best odds to win the championship. We have a lot of great players. Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, Fred VanVleet, Serge Ibaka, Norman Powell. We're a good team, but we're just missing that one piece. And that is why I don't think we're going to repeat as champions. So, of course, we're going to move on to the next part of the video. So now, of course, we move on to the second part of this video, and that is going to be the schedule and the games I am most looking forward to. So, of course, we're starting off October 22nd, Raptors versus Pelicans. We are the first game that is going to be played that day. And, of course, we're going to be followed right by Lakers and Clippers as they play the 10 o'clock game, and we have the 8 o'clock game. So, of course, we're starting out the season, getting the rings, facing the Pelicans or Duke, the NBA team. This game is not going to be as good as I originally thought it was going to be because Zion Williamson, the number 1 overall pick, will be missing this first game and be missing a bit of time. So that game is going to be interesting to look forward to. Then we have the Raptors versus Magic. Now, that might not seem interesting. October 28th, Magic will come to Toronto. And that may not seem as interesting, but the fact that they were the first team that we defeated in the playoffs last year, the first series, they were who we beat, and that's how we started this magical playoff run. So, of course, any team that we faced off against in the playoffs is obviously going to land on my list. November 2nd, Raptors at the Bucks. We face off for the first time since we beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals last season. It's going to be a fun match. The Bucks are still one of the favorites to win, of course, with the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Then we have November 10th, Raptors at the Lakers. Now, that may not seem as interesting, but they did pick up Anthony Davis in a blockbuster deal, which is part of it, but it was the Raptors, Lakers, and Clippers. We were all fighting for Kawhi Leonard. And, of course, the Clippers won. The Lakers were super close. Now, originally, if the Lakers had signed Kawhi Leonard, my video about Kawhi being gone wouldn't have been the same. It would have been less about talking about the team and more about how the NBA is corrupted. But, of course, that didn't happen. And so, of course, because we battled them in free agency for Kawhi, that's going to land on my list. November 11th, of course, the day after, Raptors at Clippers. We get to face off against Kawhi for the first time at the Staples Center. Always going to be a fun match. It's going to be a fun match to watch. Then November 25th, Raptors versus 76ers. Of course, what we remember was the shot. And, of course, the 76ers, they had their hearts broken. They're coming back to Toronto, of course, where they had their hearts broken. I keep saying that, but there's not much I can go off of. The 76ers will be one of the top teams in the NBA this year, which does kind of suck, but anyways, trust the process? No. Never mind. So anyways, November 27th, Raptors versus Knicks. That doesn't sound interesting. It's mainly because I want to laugh at the Knicks for their off season. How they came so close to getting the biggest players in Zion, KD, and Kyrie. But of course, the number 1 overall pick went to the Pelicans. Anthony Davis. If they didn't get Zion, they would have gone for Anthony Davis. But of course, the Pelicans got the number 1 overall pick, and Davis went off to the Lakers. KD went to the Nets, and so did Kyrie Irving. And also RJ Barrett, since he is from Toronto. That's going to be fun to see. December 5th, Raptors versus Rockets. Now, that might not sound too interesting, but of course, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and also because I have one of my friends in my English class who is a huge Rockets fan. We go at each other's throats. He watches my videos, so if you're watching this, we're taking you down this season. We're taking you down. Raptors over Rockets. Then, of course, December 11th, Raptors versus Clippers. Kawhi's return to Toronto. This game is going to be amazing. And, of course, what's he going to get? Is it going to be cheers or boos? I think it's going to be cheers since he did bring us to an NBA championship. And, of course, Canadian people that approach him do still thank him for what he did, so we're not fully shaming him. And then December 25th, Raptors versus Celtics. We get the 12 o'clock Christmas game. The first time we ever get to play on Christmas. That's going to be fun to watch, mainly because, well, it's going to be Christmas. And my Christmas usually consists of, in my family, we wake up, usually eat breakfast, open presents, do nothing until about 5 or 6 o'clock, have more family come over, eat dinner, they leave, and then we just call it a night. Now I'll actually have something to do in between opening presents and having more family come over, as I will have Raptors versus Celtics on Christmas Day. And then moving on to 2020, the January 12th, Raptors versus Spurs. Now, of course, this is DeMar DeRozan coming back for the second time to Scotiabank Arena. Now, why I still think this is significant, it's because we only get to play the Spurs 2 times a year. The Spurs come to us once, and we go to San Antonio once. So anytime DeMar DeRozan returns to Scotiabank Arena, it's going to be amazing. January 22nd, Raptors versus 76ers, just to rub it in because we did beat them in the Eastern Conference semifinals. February 25th, the Bucks come back to the Raptors, which is where the Raptors, for the first time in NBA, first time in franchise history, we were finals bound and we're moving on to the NBA Finals. Then we got March 5th, Raptors at Warriors, the first time we meet after the NBA Finals. Now, of course, we won't be playing at Oracle Arena. They did get a new arena. I don't remember what it's called. I'm just going to quickly take a look. So we will be playing them at Chase Center. No longer is it going to be at Oracle Arena. It's going to be at Chase Center. And then, of course, March 16th, the Warriors come to Toronto to face the Raptors. Going to be a fun match. Not much else to say. Then March 28th, Raptors at Grizzlies. Marc Gasol returns to Memphis, which should be very interesting to see him return. And then you got March 30th, Jonas Valanciunas comes back to Toronto. You know, he was part of a couple of our playoff runs, but we never made it that far with him. I mean, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals once in the Eastern Conference semifinals, but of course we were nothing against LeBron James. And then, of course, April 15th, Raptors at Magic, the final game of the regular season, which could maybe decide if we make the playoffs or not. And now we're gonna transition right into my next segment right now. Now we reach our final segment, which is playoffs. So I'm gonna try to be quick with this, and who I think is gonna make the playoffs. Starting off the East, the number 1 seed is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. Plain and simple, I think they're gonna win the East. I think they're gonna go to the NBA Finals because the East is a cakewalk, but they're most likely going to lose out to the Western Conference. Second place, I do have the 76ers. You know, I really wanted to make the Nets the number 2 team, but since Kevin Durant will not be playing this season, it does give the 76ers a chance to coast right through to a number 2 seed. Number 3 seed, the Nets, you know, picking up Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant is huge, mainly Kyrie Irving. Now, of course, they will be without KD, but Kyrie is still one of the best players in the NBA. Number 4 seed, I have the Boston Celtics. You know, they did lose Kyrie Irving. They did make up with it for getting back Kemba Walker. But other than that, the Celtics usually shock me because, you know, they still have they will have Jason Hayward, I think. And basically, the Celtics, they always are a bit of like a mid-tier or top-tier team. They're never like near the bottom, but they can pull off anything. Anyways, number 5 seed, of course, I'm representing with the Raptors. I don't think we're going to be a decent team, but because the East is super weak, we could probably coast to a 5 seed, maybe 6 seed. I think we're going to make the playoffs, but come playoff time, we're not going to go far. Then you got the 6 seed, which I'm going to say is the Pacers. You know, last year, in the season, they were without Victor Oladipo for the end of the season. For a while, they were without him, mainly towards the end, but I don't know, with a return of Oladipo, I think the Pacers could pull off something. The 7th seed, Miami Heat. They were not the greatest last year. They're without Dwayne Wade. He's gone. But bringing in Jimmy Butler is still a pretty good move. I mean, Butler did bring the Bulls to the playoffs. So, of course, and it was mainly him. So, I think he could bring in the Heat to the playoffs. And finally, the number 8 seed could literally go to anyone. I mean, not anyone, but there's only a few top candidates. But I'm going to just stick with the Orlando Magic. And then you have the West. Number 1 seed is going to be the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are going to be completely dangerous. Number 2 seed, I do have the Houston Rockets with James Harden and Russell Westbrook going to be anchoring the team. The 3rd seed, I have the Lakers, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. To be honest, the top 3 teams in the West could go to any of those 3. Like, it's basically a toss-up. Who wins that? But in this one, I'm going to say my order is going to be Clippers, Rockets, Lakers. Number 4 seed is going to be the Denver Nuggets. 5 seed, I have Portland Trail Blazers. Not much I can say about those two. Number 6 seed, I do have the Golden State Warriors. Now, they are without Kevin Durant, Boogie Cousins. They do have Draymond Green, and they do also have Steph Curry. They're going to be without Klay Thompson for most of the season, but Steph Curry is one of the best players in the NBA. Do not count him out. But without Klay Thompson, without having his other splash bro for the rest of the season, I do see the Warriors will drop off a little bit, but they're still going to be in the playoffs. Number 7 seed, Utah Jazz, and then the 8 seed could go to anyone. But since Zion's missing a little bit of the season, he'll come back and bring them to the playoffs along with him, Brandon Ingram, and JJ Redick. And that is my predictions. And now let's go straight to the outro. And that is my video for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching this. So if you want to see my Kawhi is Gone video, link will be in the description below. Of course, my new vlog is going to be coming up at my experience of Bills versus Dolphins. So make sure you go check that out when it does come out. I will eventually leave the link in the description below. So before the season starts, I am going to be posting a bit of a montage of all my some of my best reactions to Raptors moments last season. Anyways, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what else you want to see me do. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at StudentSavage. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. We the North, the true North, strong and free.